There is very little time left to get into an extra fantasy football draft this year. You better believe I'm going to take advantage of it. Underdog just dropped the Pug 3. This is a $12 buy-in, $100,000 prize pool, $20,000 for first. Don't care about the other prize payouts because I'm getting first in this bad boy. Let's go ahead. Let's hop in this draft. And it is sad that we are not going to be able to say this for too much longer. There aren't too many more days. I think we did like 500 drafts or something ridiculous this year. I need to get the official number for y'all. But that comes to an end tomorrow. While it may come to an end, at least we get real football. Thank God real football is here. But it will be sad no longer drafting. But we can watch all our teams absolutely crush. We can watch the Big Q probably drop 2 touchdowns Monday night. And I see y'all trying to curse us with pick 9 out in the chat, but your boy draws pick 7 in this draft. So we should actually be able to have a pretty good start here. And God, I'm excited for this. Now, Kate says, would you ever do a watch along for the first game? Probably not. I think we'll probably either be going, I think maybe go hang out with Sal Vetri tomorrow during the game, watch it with him. Or if not, I may be doing a bunch of team reviews on flogfantasy.com. I think we're going to have, I have a ton of team reviews to get to. We had so many people submit their teams for review last night. I was able to review a ton earlier today, but I feel like we'll probably be watching the game on one monitor tomorrow, reviewing teams on the other. But of course, real quick, if you don't know what we are doing here, we are about to hop into an Underdog Fantasy Football draft. These are best balls, so there's no time commitment at all during the year. It's how I draft hundreds every year. That's how I won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. And this is the best spot to get into an extra fantasy football draft because you don't have to pay attention to it during the season if you don't want to. And if you use code FLOCKTOP in an Underdog draft, you're going to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 plus my 2024 rankings. And on top of that, you're actually going to be getting a Christian McCaffrey special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard for Monday night. And tomorrow night, you're going to be getting a Travis Kelce special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard as well. And this is, both of those are actually available to anybody who's used code FLOCK, whether that was tomorrow, today, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. If you use code FLOCK 3 years ago, you should have both those. So make sure you take advantage before kickoff. And I think it's a $10 max that you can do it with. But anyway, Chase makes it down to us at 7. Chase was at practice today. I took Jamar Chase at pick 7 in the Flock League as well. I'm really hoping I can start Chase week 1. Based off him being at practice, I'm assuming that he will be good to go. But please let me know. Rock says, when's the next Flock League video coming out? Should be out on Tuesday, my friend. Should be out on Tuesday. And yeah, please spam the chats. And maybe I'm mistaken here, but Jamar Chase is playing week 1, right? Based off him being at practice, I know he was limited, blah, blah, blah. But I am operating under the assumption that he is playing. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Okay, Sir Yeti says he's playing. Jay Conway says, yep. Let's see. Tap says Bijan over Chase by a ton. If it was a regular redraft league, I'd 100% agree with you. I would go Bijan over Chase. Like in the Flock League right now, if whoever has Bijan Robinson, they want to shoot me that offer. I think it's Austin, one of the developers of flockfantasy.com. Somehow he's watching this and he wants Jamar Chase, I will sell you Chase for Bijan. But specifically in these underdog drafts where wide receiver depth actually matters a ton and it's going to be hard to come by, I know I'm going to like some running backs that are available to us later on, where I don't necessarily know that about Chase. But let's move this over. Laker Niner, happy to see you, my friend, says, how do super chats work on flockfantasy.com? You can go through, you can purchase 3 different type of questions, a full-blown team review, which includes pretty much everything, waiver wire suggestions. We're going to get Nico Collins here as well at pick 18. I do have Nico ranked as a borderline top 10 receiver. But you can purchase a team review. You can purchase a start-sit question. You can purchase a trade question. You submit it on the site. I'll go through, and starting tomorrow, I'm actually going to be live streaming everything through flockfantasy.com and answering all your questions there. Because sadly, after the game tomorrow, we will not be in any more underdog drafts. So definitely got to get our last ones in now. So it most likely will be answered in the live stream tomorrow night. There's a chance that it is answered through a private message with you where I'd send you an MP3 and I would explain my thought process on your start sit question or your trade question or your roster review. But we go Nico, Achane off the board at 20. I would have been excited if we could have had Saquon Barkley making it to us at 18. Just for me personally, I still do view Saquon Barkley in a different tier than Devon Achane, primarily just because of the size between the two backs. Okay. Neighbors goes off at 24. Cup goes at 22. Evans off 26. So Kyron goes, what are we doing here? I think we have a couple different options of what we can do at 31. Big thing is, since this is a tournament that dropped today on Underdog, you don't have to worry about like where any of these guys were taken earlier in the offseason. All the teams drafted in this tournament will most likely be drafted today and tomorrow. Rashee Rice off at 29. I think Rice would have been in play for us if he would have made it at 31. But we're actually going to get Smith. What's exciting about making Smith fall to us at 31 is there is an outside chance that Jalen Hurts makes it back around to us at 42. So we may set ourselves up with the elite Smith and Hurts stack. And I actually really like our team with this trio of wide receivers through the first 3 rounds. I think we're in a really comfortable spot, to be honest with you. Okay. Let's move this over. Jimmy says, dropping Corum is nonsense at this point. Wasted. Yeah, for sure. If you have Blake Corum, there's no reason to be dropping Corum. I'd say with a bunch of those running backs that are in uncertain backfields where you don't know what the role is going to be, literally just wait 3 to 4 days and you are going to have so much more information. Like, that's the big thing. Like, that's what I tweeted out a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday. I was just asking, what are you most looking forward to in week 1? What I'm kind of looking forward to most is I want to see Achane's role. I want to see what Mostert has, what Jalen Wright has in the backfield. I want to see Chase Brown versus Zach Moss, and I want to see Rico Dowdle versus Ezekiel Elliott. Because all 3 of those instances, I think we're going to get some clarity pretty early in the year. And I think we are actually going to be able to know what's up almost immediately, to be honest. Okay, so Jalen Hurts does get sniped on us. We could go with Josh Allen, which is the thing is, you know what? We're going to reach on Josh Jacobs instead. Hear me out. Hear me out. I love Allen at this price point, but we are not guaranteed to get Kincaid in the 5th. And at the same time, we are not guaranteed to get Keon in the 4th. We have Nico Collins for the CJ Stroud stack later. We also have Jamar Chase for the Joe Burrow stack later. So I think just taking Jacobs, it puts us in a spot where we have more flexibility later in the draft to potentially take a quarterback that is falling. Okay. Now, after we take Jacobs, you have Allen, Terry, Amari, Zay Flowers all off. Yeah, Dalton Kincaid goes at 47. So taking Jacobs there at 42, we'd have had no shot to get Kincaid. Okay. Let's see. Peter says, Mason, do you like the NBA? I grew up as a Spurs fan. So over the past few years, I really have not paid much attention to the NBA. But now that we have Wemby, I'm going to be back in. Now that we have Wemby, I will be back in. I've already explained this to y'all a million times, but I am the most bandwagon fair weather fan of all time. I'm not going to root for a garbage team. Okay, which I know y'all absolutely hate to hear, and it's like people look down on you when you admit that out loud, but it's the case. If we have nothing going on in terms of chances of winning any games, I got better things to do. Okay. So Worthy goes. So we're actually going to get Mark Andrews down here at pick 55. And if you see this weird little animation next to Josh Jacobs' name here, so what Underdog dropped today, which is actually really cool. Underdog's been doing so many freaking pick'em promos this week. They've literally never done anything close to this level. I've never seen any site do anything close to, literally there's a pick'em promo every single day. The one that they dropped today, and if you're on Underdog already, or if you sign up to Underdog with code FLOCK, you'll have it either way. It's called Vulture Protection. So if you were to go through and if you were to make a pick'em slip and say you were to put Tony Pollard in to score a touchdown, say you take Tony Pollard to score a touchdown with like a 3x multiplier, whatever it would be, and Tajee Spears ends up scoring the touchdown anyway, if you use your Vulture Protection, then you actually win it regardless. That's not a losing pick'em slip for you. So you'll see that the running backs right now on Underdog have like these little vulture things swinging around them if you look at their profile picks. But yeah, I mean, I typically don't go crazy with the Underdog pick'ems, but I've literally been submitting an Underdog pick'em every single day this week just because the promos are nuts. They also slashed a bunch of other pick'ems. Like they took Mike Evans down from like 66.5 receiving yards higher, lower to I think down to like 42. And they did that with two other players today randomly as well. But that I think you need to take advantage of within like the next 24 hours or it goes away. That's like a short-term thing. Will, welcome to being a member of the flock. Happy to see you. Okay. Cardinal says, hey, Mason, curious how the live streams will look during the season. Will you be answering questions from flockfantasy.com on stream since no super chats? 100%. What's going to be a lot better, as y'all know, typically during the season, it's just my face blown up. I'm bringing up the little bubbles like this and answering questions. We built out something on flockfantasy.com. I know I keep on saying tomorrow, but I legitimately mean tomorrow you will see it. It will be live where we will be streaming and all your questions that are submitted through flockfantasy.com, any team review purchases that you have as well, will go in my queue, and then we'll answer them on the live stream. I can pull up your entire team. I can pull up all your league settings. I'll answer it on the stream, and it will be DM'd to you directly as well. So it is a significantly better process than me having to go through and just read questions off the live chat, not knowing any of the league settings, not knowing any of the context behind anything. And also what's been a pain in the past is when we go through and do those live Q&As, if you submit a super chat and it takes me 30 minutes to get to your question, there's a chance that you had to take your kid to baseball practice and all of a sudden you missed the question. So us building it out through the site is going to guarantee that that doesn't happen because one, it'll be answered on the live stream, and two, it'll be messaged to you as well on flockfantasy.com. So I think it'll be a lot better for everybody watching the live streams. It'll be a lot better for everybody asking questions as well. And of course, if you were interested in that, I would definitely make sure you set up an account on flockfantasy.com relatively soon. If you use code FLOCK and you actually have a Mother Flocker annual subscription, you'll get a free team review from me. And if you use code FLOCK, you get 30% off any sub as well. So we get sniped on a couple of our quarterbacks here. So we're actually going to go ahead and take Ladd McConkey. So just in case you didn't see in the last round, we got sniped on CJ Stroud. Typically CJ Stroud make it a little bit further than he does here. But that team that sniped us on Jalen Hurts also decided to take Stroud. That's why we went Roma Dunze, so we could potentially set ourselves up Caleb Williams a little later on. And here, taking Ladd McConkey, we're potentially setting ourselves up with Justin Herbert as well. So I think it's a well-balanced squad. I definitely like our decision to take Josh Jacobs where we did. Now at receiver, we have Chase, Nico, Smith, Rome, Ladd. Running back, we have Jacobs holding down the fort. We have the elite tight end with Andrews. And hopefully we can find some of these quarterbacks that fit the build a little later on. Okay. Austin says football in less than 24 hours. Oh, we're right there. We're right there. And like, I'm legitimately, like, just to let you know exactly how I'm feeling. I am super nervous. Everything is about to change. I literally could not sleep last night. I was so excited, so nervous about a million different things. One, the Flock League YouTube channel. I need to win this league. You have no idea. I need to win it. I need to win week one. Give me week one. I need Chase to play. 2, just getting the overall redesign out live on the sites. I can't wait for y'all to see that as well. And then also the football season's here. Like literally everything is happening at once. And then also, sadly, we're not going to be able to do underdog drafts starting tomorrow night. And we'll exclusively be sticking to underdog pick'ems. Okay. So Jordan Addison off the board at 88. I think that we will have the easy decision here to just go ahead, take Joe Burrow, pair him up with Jamar Chase. We're building a juggernaut here. This is a phenomenal team. This is a great squad, ladies and gentlemen. Wide receiver, we have Chase, Nico Smith, Rome, Ladd. Running back, we have Jacobs. Tight end, we have Andrews. Quarterback, we have Burrow, and we're about to slam some running back values. Love this team. Cole says, didn't you go Chase, Collins, Smith in the Flock League? Yes, I did. In the Flock League, I also went Chase, Collins, Smith. What's so funny is in the Flock League, I literally had pick 7. I went Chase. Pick 18, I went Collins. Pick 31, I went Devonta Smith. Obviously, in the Flock League, I went through and I traded Nico Collins to Danny. But, yeah, that's really funny that I had that same 3-start. Okay. Nori says, when will the Underdog Pick'em videos be out? I can grab some Pick'ems that I've actually made so far. I've been tweeting them out. If y'all are wanting to see some of the Pick'ems that I've built with the promos, like I said, I've been doing it pretty much every single day this week because the promos are so good right now. And y'all know I'm not typically like doing pick'ems every single day. It's just, this is something like you never get this many on Underdog or really anywhere. Zach Moss off the board. We are going to go ahead. We will take Zamir White as our second running back. We just need to lock up some running back volume. I'm not the most excited about Zamir White given his offense and the potential receiving role here. But here is the 3 pick'ems that I've tweeted out over the past week. There's one more that I made today, I think actually right before this live stream. But this was one that hit for us on Saturday. Underdog gave a free college football pick'em. Jalen Milroe, higher, lower, half a total yard. Paired that with Quinn Ewers, higher 2.5 passing touchdowns. That hit for us. The other 2 have not played out yet. We'll see if they hit. Let's see. What was this other one I made? Okay, this one was with the sweat free token. So if you're on Underdog, you can see that they rolled out a sweat free token that you're able to use. So if this doesn't hit, then we actually get our $10 entry back in site credit. However, if Lamar has fewer than 219.5 passing yards, if Derrick Henry gets a rushing touchdown and Pacheco's longest run is shorter than 13.5 rushing yards, then we turn our $10 into 64. If it doesn't happen, we get our $10 back with the no sweat token. That's what I'm saying. You got to take advantage of these pick'ems right now. And what was the other one that we did? I'm not going to get the 4th one that we didn't tweet out just because it'd be tough for me to get that from my phone. And this is what I did for the Vulture pick'em. I went Saquon Barkley to score a rushing touchdown. If he ends up getting vultured, it hits anyway, because you can see the little vultures swirling around him. A.J. Brown to have fewer than 9 targets, and Josh Jacobs to have more than 2.5 receptions. Okay, so let's move this over now. So I mean, this is exactly what we are wanting, right? We want running backs making it back to us. We get Spears here as RB3 behind Josh Jacobs and Zamir White. So now at wide receiver, we have Chase, Nico, Smith, Rome, Ladd. Running back, we have Jacobs, Zamir, Spears. Tight end, we have Andrews. Quarterback, we have Burrow. Beautiful. Bummy Asian says, do you tend to track your drafts on Underdog week to week, or do you just see if you won a lot of money at the end of the season? To be completely honest with you, I'm probably not going to be tracking my Underdog drafts at the very beginning of the year, just because like 1 weekend, not a lot's going to happen. What I'm going to be doing is typically about halfway through or maybe about 4 weeks into the season, I go through and I see how our overall portfolio is doing. And then once we get to the fantasy football playoff tournament, then I'm glued to my phone, just checking Underdog every 5 seconds, seeing how the teams are doing. But especially this year with the Flock League, I'm just going to be like 100% attention every second I can give. I'm going to be tracking that. Okay. Eckler 123. Eckler actually DM'd me today about a business thing, which is pretty cool. So shout out Austin Eckler. Buy low Austin Eckler. Yeah, Austin Eckler. Watch the buy low running back video we had him on. I was like, ooh, let's DM this guy. Okay. Is Lockett back at practice? Limited by thigh still. Ugh. So Tua, Goff, we don't have any stacking options. We'll just go ahead. We will take Jacoby Myers at pick 127 as our 6th receiver here. We probably only draft a total of 7 receivers on this team, considering how strong we are with Chase, Nico, Smith, Rome, Ladd, and now Jacoby. Okay. Jake says Worthy is going to be better than Tyreek, faster and bigger somehow. Worthy is not, one, he's not going to be better than Tyreek. Hook 'em horns. Of course, I'm rooting for our guy. But where are you getting that Worthy is bigger than Tyreek? Where could you possibly be pointing to? JC says, Yo, Mason, what do you think is going to happen this weekend with UT? I am the worst UT fan ever. I always have the lowest expectations for us. I'm a jaded UT fan. I obviously hope we win by double digits, but I have no idea what to expect, to be honest. I do not know what's going to happen. Kadarius Tony says, last night drafting with Mason until April. We can probably get in some drafts tomorrow as well. But yeah, it will be the second to last day of drafts this year, which is really, really sad. Albert says, shout out to you, Mason. I'm the old guy that saw you at Costco this evening. Thanks for saying hi. Cheers. Well, thank you, Albert. Really nice seeing you. I was able to text my girlfriend, hey, someone saw me at Costco. But thank you for coming by the live stream. Really do appreciate you, my guy. But let's move this over. I think we're going to go ahead, take Ty Chandler here. This is a larger field contest, so I don't necessarily know if we want to take an unstacked Tua. There is an outside chance, now that we pass on to it, that we actually get Herbert making it back around to us. You could make a very strong argument, Mason, don't be a clown, don't try to push it, just take Justin Herbert at pick 138. And my answer to that would be, yes, we probably should have just taken Justin Herbert. Gene says, I'm trying to submit my team for review, but says I need to confirm picks when everything's locked in. So the reason for that right now is flockfantasy.com was geared for dynasty fantasy football in the offseason. So we were just going through and making sure that users had their rookie picks correct. So there's a little box that you just have to hit that says correct rookie picks. We have not removed that box for redraft. That will be removed when the site gets updated tomorrow. So don't you worry about that. Just make sure you hit correct rookie picks, and then literally that's it. Or correct picks, and that's all you have to do, and then it should let you submit. So I'm sorry about that, my friend. But yeah, it's a little annoying that you have to hit that box even though you don't have any rookie picks. It would have been something that would have been easy to just remove, but everybody is working full speed ahead on the redesign, trying to get it out for us tomorrow. So they're just looping it into the overhaul with the redesign. So let's move this over. Jalen McMillan goes. Bucky Irving goes. So we will take Michael Wilson as our last wide receiver in this league at 151. I actually think that Michael Wilson is a very easy selection to make here with the Zay Jones suspension. So I think he's locked and loaded into a very large role. He'll be our last wide receiver. I think we do have a teardrop coming sometime soon. Okay. And I do want to reiterate, as soon as we made the pick, I knew it was a mistake. We should have just taken Justin Herbert there at pick 138 instead of Ty Chandler. It was very bad. Okay. Cash Clark says, Mason, besides you, who has the best team in the Flock League? So I actually put the Flock League into the flockfantasy.com league analyzer. And I use the expert values, which you can do this for free on flockfantasy.com using the community values. But using the expert ranking values, what it kicked back was that Thomas has the best team in the league and I have the second best team. Thomas is the editor of this channel. So, of course, Thomas, he just watches all the gold, right? Learn from the best. But yeah, Thomas is sitting there. When you have McCaffrey, you just have a significant edge. You got McCaffrey at pick 2. And if McCaffrey stays healthy, that just puts you so far ahead of the rest of the field. Okay. So Baker goes 158. Tolbert off. Like we said, we are done taking wide receivers. Deshaun Watson wouldn't do much for us. Geno, we could go with Geno here. Noah Fant on the way back around. Luke Musgrave off. I think we may actually take Marshawn Lloyd. No, I don't want Lloyd because we have Jacobs. I'm not trying to draft a Jacobs handcuff. If we take the backup tight end to Gerald Everett here, maybe we only have to draft 2 tight ends if we take Kmet. So we're going to do that. So we'll pair up Kmet with Andrews. We'll only take 2 tight ends in this draft. And then we can open ourselves up to 3 QBs. Okay. T. Jameson says, if KC loses tomorrow, I'll join and be another flocker. Let's go Ravens. Flock up, baby. Flock up. Yeet, welcome to being a member of the flock. Profile pick goes hard, my guy. Profile pick goes hard as hell. Okay. Now, after we take Kmet, you have a decent amount of tight ends off the board, which is great. Like we said, we are done drafting that position. Would be good to see some more wide receivers off as well. We'll figure it out together. We'll figure it out. Okay. Bateman 171. Bigsby off 172. Gavin, longtime member of the flock. Happy to see you. Gavin has been with us forever now. Okay. Let's move this over. Demario Douglas falling. Like I said, we are not looking to take another receiver. I think we're just running back, quarterback. So J.K. Dobbins not injured at all at this point. So I think Vidal is a little less appealing. We'll take Watson. We're really going to just be relying on the Burrow Chase stack for some spike weeks potentially in the fantasy football playoffs here. But hopefully we can take Deshaun and then just use him for points through the season. Just hopefully. Okay. Let's move this over. Mad Max says, how much money is the next draft going to be? So Underdog just dropped the $12 tournaments. So we're probably going to be getting in, there's a 3 max entry. So we're probably going to do 3 $12 drafts right now. Of course, if we hit 300 likes on this live stream. If y'all have not done so already, go down there, hit that like button. If we hit 300 likes, we will get another draft going after this one. Gavin says, in round 8, would he take Sutton, Reed, or Rome? I would be going with Reed or Rome. If you're not planning on starting this player anytime soon, probably Rome Odunze. Okay. Let's move this over. So we are still just quarterback, running back. I think we end up taking 6 RBs here. We maybe go Darnold, say, oh, what happens if we get it's Ty Chandler. I'm not even going to try to say it out loud, but Darnold, phenomenal weapons. I think that he is just put in a spot where I would be very comfortable projecting him ahead of Nix, May, Young, Jones, as long as he's able to hold on to this job, specifically because he has Jefferson and two other great options in Addison and Hawkinson. But it looks like we hit 300 likes on the stream. So let's go ahead. Let's just queue up some additional running backs and call it a day here. We're going to go. What was the report on Roschon? Limited with, are you freaking, oh my gosh. Is Roschon really banged up? What is this? Roschon was limited in practice Wednesday. A toe injury might explain why Johnson didn't play in the preseason contest after the Hall of Fame game. It's unclear what his role will be when healthy, but the limited practice participation suggests he at least stands some chance to play this Sunday against the Titans. Come on, Roschon. Be healthy. Play for us. We need you, buddy. We need you real bad. All right. And we're going to go ahead and hop into another Pug 3 draft. This is that $12 buy-in, $100,000 prize pool. We are in, and let's go. Anything but pick 9, baby. Anything but pick 9. Close. They tried to do it to me. They tried their hardest. But your boy's slippery. A little slimy like a snake. So we're going. Valiant says, how many weekly winners subs you rocking with, Mason? I don't know what a weekly winner sub is, my friend. Love to know that. Omega Les Paul says, my man, glad to have you back. Need a wide receiver 3. Have PBR, Shakir, Mike Williams, Jordan Addison. I'm going to go with Addison. Sounds like he will be good to go week 1. Big Mike, great when not injured. And this is my only chance. Yeah, but I don't know. The thing with Mike Williams, he has a really tough matchup going against the Niners. I'd rather just have Addison. What is crazy is if you look at sportsbooks right now, which we've proven are more accurate, are very, very accurate. I can't individually prove that they're more accurate than every single one of y'all, but sportsbooks are about the most accurate resource you can find. And they currently have the Vikings scoring more points than the Jets this week. Okay. St. Brown goes 4. Breece Hall off at 5. Let's see. We're going to get Bijan Robinson here at pick 8. Not stressing about Bijan whatsoever. I think it's a very easy selection to make here. Okay. Rob says, out of everyone on flockfantasy.com, who's won the most money from Underdog Best Ball? We all know the answer to that one. All jokes aside, next year, I think we're probably going to bring on some people who have won more money in best ball drafts than I have. I think we have to. I have to get some people who actually know what they're doing in the streets. Can't be relying on myself talking about 2022 forever now. Malik Neighbors off the board at pick 13. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. I will reiterate, I do not think I've taken Malik Neighbors a single time in round 2 this year. I refuse to. Okay, if we would have had Gibbs, it would have been beautiful. We will take Drake London. We will go all in on Atlanta. For the love of God, Kirk Cousins, please be good. Please be good. And, of course, real quick, if you haven't already, if you want to get into a draft, you don't have much longer. You got about 24 hours, but Underdog would be the best place to opt into an extra fantasy football draft this year. Because they are best ball, there's no time commitment at all during the year. So I draft hundreds of teams every season. So I won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. And if you use code FLOCK, you're going to get my rankings, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, you will also get a Travis Kelce special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard for tomorrow night. And a Christian McCaffrey special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard for Monday night as well. So please make sure you are taking advantage of that with the link in the description and comment section. And like I said, there's so many other Underdog promos. I don't want to try to lay all 7 of them right now into this little spiel, but just hop on Underdog, take advantage of the promos. Even if you've been on Underdog for years, literally just open your app, go to the pick'ems, and make sure you are taking advantage of the promos, because not very often do you have this many. Okay. Adams off 26, followed immediately by Rashee Rice. Rice is definitely a much better pick in this kind of tournament than he would have been in Best Ball Mania, just because you don't have to go up against any other teams that got Rice in round 7. Kyron off 28. That team at 5 decides to go running back with Breece Achane. Follows it up with DK Metcalf there at 29. When I go Bijan Robinson round 1, specifically in Underdog drafts, I want at least one more receiver, either at 32 or 41. So the question is, do we prefer Henry? Do we prefer Pacheco? One of these receivers, or one of the receivers on the way back around? I'm actually going to be going Stephon Diggs. The reason for this is, if you look at my rankings, I have Josh Jacobs ranked straight up ahead of Derrick Henry. So if we want another running back here, I think we can just go ahead and take Josh Jacobs at 41. So let's do it. Christo says, what does everybody think about Davante Adams falling? So Adams goes as pretty much like a low-end wide receiver 2 in Underdog drafts, which it should be a very bad offense. So I completely understand why people take him there in Underdog. As a low-end wide receiver 2, I really do like the Davante Adams price tag. However, in your regular redraft league, there you'll see Davante Adams go as a low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2. And at that point, it's going to be extremely tough. Okay. Playbook Fantasy Football says, thanks for ranking my team, Hawk Tua, and Meet the Flockers League. Much love, my guy. Happy I was able to get to it. And I believe that was the team that was ranked number 1 with the league analyzer. No? Let me know if I'm wrong. Okay, so just like what we discussed previously, we are going to get a running back making it back to us. Between Etienne and Jacobs, I think you can kind of make an argument for either or. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Jacobs here at 41. I think it'll be a little bit of a unique combo, having Diggs and Jacobs based off the way the ADPs lined up in this tournament for today. So let's go for it. Let's go for it. And Josh Allen immediately off after at 42. Benny says, how accurate is the team analyzer? Whenever I view it, because the thing about the team analyzer as well is you get exponentially more value for the top guys like Christian McCaffrey than somebody like Jahmyr Gibbs, just a few slots lower. If I were you, I would just load up your team on the league analyzer, especially if you can use the expert values. Turn on the expert values. That's the accumulation and the average out of my rankings and all the other rankings of all the other creators on the site. And just look at the teams that are ranked at the top, look at the teams ranked at the bottom, and you let me know. Because I think 9 times out of 10, I am very close to just agreeing with it. Mark Word says, couldn't find a more accurate analyzer. Thank you, my friend. Rob says, no, only use Mason's ranking. Yeah, the thing is, too, with the analyzer, you can just use my values. I don't know if I would recommend just using my values on the league analyzer. I would probably recommend using the expert values, to be honest with you, which my rankings are definitely taken account for in there, but you're also getting additional opinions rather than just mine. Okay. Benny says he has the number 1 team on the team, and I love to hear it, my friend. Love to hear it. John, happy to see us. Says 21 hours until Thursday night football. I had such a hard time sleeping last night. It wasn't just because football's here. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff to do with like things on the site, the Flock League. Like, I just feel like so much is going on and football's here. I have no idea how I sleep tonight. No idea. Okay. So let's move this over. We are going to take Terry McLaurin here. I hadn't drafted much McLaurin previously when he was going at the 4 or 5 turn in Underdog drafts. But now you have absolutely no shot that Brandon Ayuk is in Washington. And at the same time, Jahan Dotson is in Philly. So I think McLaurin's situation has actually gotten better than where it was 2 months ago. And he is currently cheaper than he was back then. So I think it's an easy pick. And it is interesting to see that team at 7 who decided to go Josh Allen at 42, pass on Dalton Kincaid at 55. So JSN. Flutes Ribbon says, where's the overlay going to be? From what I've seen, I don't know if there will be an overlay in any underdog tournaments. What probably is the most likely overlay is the marathon, but I think they both fill. I don't think there's any overlay, which is what I've said for a very long time now. Okay, Jaden Reed off 62. So Pitts, we did get the report that he was banged up. Then Pitts himself tweeted out like, hey, I'm good. I'm chilling. The issue is I don't know if we want to take Pitts here on a team where we already have London and Bijan. I don't know how many Falcons we can reasonably fit into the same squad. So instead, I think we go ahead. We take Joe Mixon as our third running back with this pick. I don't mind pairing up London and Pitts. I don't mind pairing up Bijan and Pitts, but having Bijan, London, and Pitts going with 3 Falcons through the first 6 rounds of your draft does seem very, very tough. Okay. Dr. Green says, where do I find the league analyzer? Just go to flockfantasy.com and go to my teams. If you use the community values, which are still definitely good, they're not, I would use the expert values if you have a paid account, but the community values are free and you can use them. And yeah, you can also access the community rankings for free on flockfantasy.com as well. There's a bunch of stuff on the site that's free where you don't need a paid account for. You do need an account, but you don't need a paid account. You don't even need an account to view the rankings page. You just need, I will let you know though, my rankings are behind a paywall, but the community rankings are free. And the community rankings, that is essentially every time you go to the rankings page, it prompts you with a would you rather player. You click the player, we aggregate all the data on the back end, and we come up with community ranks. Okay, James Conner off the board at 72. Cole says, my grandma can draft a better team than Team 12. Yeah, Team 12 maybe struggling a bit here. Just a bit. Kyler Murray off the board there at 73 to the team that took James Conner. You do see a lot of teams taking unstacked Kyler. But it's not that rare at all. Okay. Tristan says, Mason, why are some people so low on Connor in general? He was really good last year, just a little injury prone. Is Benson really going to overtake him this year? So at the moment, Connor is my running back 1 in the Flock League. Just to let you know. I will take Deontay Johnson for sure. Stroud was in play when we have Diggs and Jacobs. But if you look at the ADP game with Deontay having an ADP of 67, very rarely has he ever fallen this far in this tournament? So we'll just take him, have a unique combo. So James Conner is my running back 1 in the Flock League. I went with the 0 RB build. I think he's going to crush the beginning of the season, but I can also be very realistic on why people are maybe a little lower on him. If you look at James Conner, this is a running back that will see competition in the second half of the year with Trey Benson. And this is a running back that has never played 16 games in a year. So I understand thinking like, oh, Connor is a massive value there at 72. In reality, I think he's kind of appropriately priced. Okay. DeAndre Swift off. I think we're going to go with DeAndre Hopkins here, possibly. Officially out. What's the squad look like? Yeah, we will go DeAndre Hopkins as our 5th receiver. I think we can use a tiebreaker when we don't have a quarterback here to just make sure that we are setting up another potential quarterback later. So our potential quarterbacks at this point, obviously, we are going to be targeting Jaden Daniels if we can get him paired up with Terry. We'll be targeting Kirk Cousins to pair up with London and Bijan. We can also go Bryce Young. We can also go Will Levis at the very end if we need a third quarterback. Okay. Love goes 93. Burner counts as my people. Would y'all do Kincaid and Scary Terry for Evans and Schultz? Kincaid to Evans. Give me Evans. Scary Terry versus Schultz. Give me Scary Terry. I think it's a very fair trade. I think it's up to you. Okay. Ferguson makes it all the way down to 95. Did that team take Lamb? So, yeah, that team's going to get the Dak, Lamb, Ferguson double stack with Lamar Jackson on the squad. Very interesting team there. Okay. Let's move this over. And Njoku off 99. Palmer goes pick 100. Ford off as well. We have one more team to dodge so we can get the Daniel stack. We have to dodge Cole Anderson. We dodged him. We should get Jaden Daniels stacked up now with Terry McLaurin. Let's freaking go. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good team. Now at running back, we are sitting with Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon. Wide receiver, we have London, Diggs, Terry, Deontay Hopkins. Quarterback, we have Daniels stacked up with Terry McLaurin. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Definitely feel better about our decision to take Deontay instead of Stroud where we did now. Okay. That team at the turn goes Blake Corum over Jonathan Brooks. Wild. Rico Dowdle goes 110. In terms of looking at potential quarterbacks here, I don't really see anybody who makes that much sense. I think we go Jonathan Brooks. Unless I'm mistaken, this is the tournament where we're trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17. We're kind of in on Carolina with Deontay Johnson. Might as well double down on that offense and say, what if Carolina's good? We'll see. What if? Okay. Then after we go Brooks, like, yeah, I'm just completely fine taking Jonathan Brooks here. Obviously, in an underdog tournament, specifically with the fantasy football playoffs, points in weeks 15, 16, 17 are almost exponentially more valuable than what you're going to see in other leagues. Okay. Let's move this down. Safety says, how do I use the trade finder? So if you're using the trade finder on flockfantasy.com, literally, if you're wondering, oh, I kind of want to trade Drake London for Terry McLaurin, you put in those two players, and then it will pull every single trade that's recently been made with Drake London and Terry McLaurin, and that way you can see what the value gap is between the two. You can go, oh, this person traded Terry McLaurin and Chris Godwin for Drake London. Oh, this person traded Terry McLaurin and Joe Mixon for Drake London and Brian Robinson. You know, so just put in the two players that you're interested in trading for on each side, and then you can see all the real fantasy football trades that have been made between those two guys. Okay. We'll just take Dallas Goedert. I mean, super easy. He's healthy. We need a tight ends. Looking at the wide receivers that Dallas Goedert is going around at this price point, going right next to Brandon Cooks, I don't know what the points gap's going to be between these two players here. So I think it's really easy to take Goddard. Okay, and then Goff goes immediately after at 130. Gabe Davis goes 131. Yes, this team at 12, very interesting squad. They have Kenneth Walker, Javonte Williams, Chase Brown, Zach Moss, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright at running back. At receiver, they have Nico, Neighbors, Brian Thomas, JSN, Ladd McConkey, and Josh Downs. So it's a team that has a total of 0 quarterbacks and 0 tight ends through the first 12 rounds. Okay, so looking at what we want to do here, Schultz isn't in play. Mooney's not in play for us either. Since we get sniped on Kirk Cousins, I do think we need to go ahead and pivot and instead take Mike Williams so we can set ourselves up, potentially Rodgers later on. Yeet coming out with the dono. Thank you, my guy. Thank you. Spencer Game says, is Underdog coming out with the Flock Community Contest 11 tomorrow? I'm hoping so. I don't know, though, so I don't want to promise anything. We go Mike Williams, 137. This way we can go Rodgers. Obviously, we were wanting Kirk Cousins with this squad, but someone takes Kirk Cousins unstacked well ahead of ADP, so it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. JP says, setting up last round Michael Penix. So obviously, I think it's ideal going through and taking some guys that are going to be low owned that have high ceilings. I don't think that applies to quarterbacks, to be honest. Outside of very, very rare instances where you think a quarterback that could potentially be the QB1 overall in weeks 15, 16, 17, which I don't think Michael Penix has any shot at being that. I think really the only quarterback that's a quote-unquote low-owned guy, depending on what time period of the year you took him, that could completely break the slate. I think the only guy that fits that mold is Justin Fields. Adam Thielen off 151. We will go ahead. We will just take Dalton Schultz 152. Obviously, we already have Diggs. We already have Mixon. We don't have Stroud, so we were building out kind of like a full-blown Texans onslaught with no Stroud. Don't know if I love it. We specifically passed on Schultz there in the 12th round when he was the highest ranked player according to ADP. But when he falls 20 picks past ADP, we'll just go ahead and take him. We need another tight end. Okay. Leggett off 154. I've drafted a lot of Xavier Leggett. I don't think Leggett matters at all in your regular redraft league, just specifically in these underdog drafts. I think he can make a difference. John says Sam Darnold going to be a league winner. I definitely have drafted a lot of Darnold once you had the McCarthy injury. Primarily just because the situation that he finds himself in, of course. I think we will just go ahead, make the boring pick. We will take Rodgers to pair up with Mike Williams. I think Rodgers is going to be set up to fail on Monday night going up against the Niners, but there can be other weeks where you have a much better matchup for Rodgers where he plays just fine. Okay. Let's move this. Steve says, Team 12 is rallying nicely. They have Stafford and Darnold as their first two quarterbacks there, 156, 157. Definitely don't like taking Darnold over Rodgers. I will say, though, for this week, I did... This week, I did rank Darnold ahead of Rodgers, but that was just due to the Rodgers matchup against the Niners. I think rest of season, I still very easily prefer Rodgers. Marker where it says last round pick, sleeper, Tutu Atwell. What team's Tutu on nowadays? Tutu Atwell. The original tiny guy. It's the poor man's Tank Dell, one would say. Is he still in Los Angeles? I honestly thought Tutu Atwell was drafted in 2021, not 2022. No, he was drafted in 2021. I guess he didn't log any games played, or he didn't log any targets 2021. Yeah, but he was drafted 2021. Braylon Allen goes 173. Looking at other potential quarterback pairings here, I'm going to go 3 quarterbacks with the team. I'm going to go 3 QBs and 3 tight ends. Deshaun doesn't do much for us here other than score points. Gino gives us no stacks. We can still go Bryce Young super late. So what I'm going to do here instead is I'm just going to take Wan'Dale Robinson as the boring pick as our 7th receiver. I think we'll call it a day at receiver here, and we just have so many super late round quarterbacks that we could look at that actually do stack with this team, such as Bryce Young, such as now Daniel Jones, obviously with the decision of us taking Wan'Dale. Okay. Dr. Greenhouse says, do you do dynasty content? Actually, I started on YouTube only doing dynasty fantasy football. It's what I truly loved. 2014 through 2019, or honestly long in that, like 2014 through 2020 is pretty much the only thing I did. Definitely still like dynasty fantasy football, but once we close in on the start of the season like this, I just get so excited about regular football that I really only cover dynasty on the Dynasty Football Flock YouTube channel in the off season, my friend. But I think it is the largest dynasty channel on YouTube. And like I said, that's how I got started on YouTube. Okay, let's move this around. We are done at wide receiver. We are just quarterback, running back, tight end. We're going to take one of each position over the next few rounds. Avoids wasn't listed on the Giants practice report. Do they mean injury report? I think we just take Tank Bigsby. Bigsby, one of my most drafted late round guys. I just think that is the very clear 2, if anything were to occur to Travis Etienne and what should be a decent offense. Which it's hard to say that about other backs here. Like with Tracy, maybe is the running back 2 behind Singletary. But even if Singletary were to go down, I don't know how excited we are about Tracy in one of the worst offenses in the league. And real quick, of course, if we hit 600 likes on this live stream, we are going to get another draft going after this one. So if you have not done so already, go down there, hit that like button, and we'll get a 3rd draft underway. I have no idea how many likes we're at right now. If y'all could let me know in the live chat, that would maybe help. Okay. John, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know anything about golf. No, nothing about golf. Juwan off 193. Bryce Young goes 195, so we sadly are not going to get Young coming back to us. Which I don't know how sad it is. Number 1 Stunna says, curious what percentage Mason is on London. I'll pull up all my Falcons percentages for you right now, my friend. We're going to go Daniel Jones to pair up with Wan'Dale here at pick 200. For as little as I've drafted the Giants, I actually do find myself mixing in Daniel Jones just because I do think that he has some rushing upside, which it's hard to say about any other quarterback in this range. And also he helped me get 16th place in Best Ball Mania 2 years ago, which definitely gives me a soft spot for him. But let's pull up specifically in the 2024 season slates. My exposures to the Falcons. 11% Algier. It used to be a lot higher. Algier used to be at like 18% as my second most drafted running back. And then the Tyler Algier report came out. He steamed up draft boards. 9% London, 6% Mooney, 5% Cousins, 5% Bijan, 3% Pitts. And then I had 2% Rondale Moore, and I took Michael Penix a single time. So overall, I am pretty much underweight on the Atlanta Falcons offense besides Tyler Algier. Okay, let's move this over. And let's see. I think we are going to be locked and loaded into tight end. Since we took Daniel Jones, I wouldn't mind Theo Johnson here. We are going to take Theo Johnson. Probably going to call it a day with this draft pick for the stream as well. Looks like we did not hit 600 likes. Probably good for me to save my voice because I'm going to be streaming before the game tomorrow and after the game tomorrow as well. I'm going to be reviewing a ton of teams over there on flogfantasy.com. But of course, if you wanted to get into an extra fantasy football draft before the season gets here, Underdog's the place to do so. Or if you just want to take advantage of the Travis Kelce special pick of more than less than half a total yard, the Christian McCaffrey special pick of more than less than half a total yard, or any of the laundry list of crazy promotions Underdog's doing this week. I've never seen them do anything like this. If you use code FLOCK, you're going to get the max amount of promotions you could possibly get, plus my 2024 rankings, plus a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. You just need to make sure that you're in a state with Underdog, but Underdog is available in 90% of states, including Texas, Florida, California, New York, Michigan, etc., etc. But much love. Really do appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Sad that the drafts are really close to coming to an end, but I really hope I get to see you out in the live stream tomorrow night.